Hey guys, welcome to Listen Bitch Presents Tell Me Why You're Special. This is the arena where we don't just talk about healing, we talk about survival because the truth is, a lot of people don't even realize how much of their personality is really built in response to pain. Like the hyper independence, guilty, people pleasing, overreaching, emotional shutdown, anxiety, control, caretaking. I mean, the list, we don't have enough time for me to list this out for you, but you get it. Sometimes what we call personality is actually just a survival strategy. And when you grow up in chaos and don't just magically become okay because you got older. Your nervous system remembers, and your body, you guys, we talk about that, it keeps the score. And eventually, you either heal intentionally or your wounds quietly start running your life. God did not create people to stay trapped in survival mode forever. So today, we're going to talk about trauma, nervous system, healing, grief, identity, emotional safety, what it really takes, you guys, to rebuild yourself from the inside out. I'm very excited. This is going to be a girls conversation. I can already tell. Like, I love her, and I just met her. We have Tori Janae. She is a transformational life strategist who helps people uncover the patterns, wounds, and nervous system response quietly shaping their lives beneath the surface. So, Tori, we'll just launch from what makes you special. What's something from your childhood that you didn't realize was affecting your adult life until much later?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, both my parents were drug and alcohol addicts, but like not like my mom had massive addiction. I was actually conceived in a heroin rehab facility. And today I live in Beverly Hills. I have 3 degrees in psychology and I've had a private practice for 14 years. So I've so much affected me, but I think it was hyper independence, codependency. I remember being in an early psychology class, like Psych 101, listening to trauma and attachment styles and all these things and going, oh shit, that's all me. Like I'm super avoidant, I'm hyper independent. It was just like ding, ding, ding. And what I really learned is we don't know what was maladaptive or what was negative or what wasn't quite right growing up because it felt normal at the time. And it's not until we get older and we get out of the house and we start getting into our own lives and relationships that all that stuff shows up for us.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. And plus, I can relate to that. Psych 101 was the class where I'm like, wow, I'm all sorts of screwed up. And the same thing is happening to my daughters, where they're like, wow, our childhood was kind of screwed up. And, that's being in the psychology classes, that's being around people. And I'm like, yeah, I really screwed up. Everything's a mess. And that's the beauty of growing up is I think we all get a chance to have that awareness. Um, but I mean, when survival is all you know as a kid, what happens to your identity?
We have to find a way to survive. So I always love to say that whatever you created, whether it was people pleasing, hyper independence, over taking care of other people, high functioning, all these things, that was designed to keep you alive. And it did. Like if I did not over function and be codependent and all these things, my life would have been so much worse. So I always want to validate that it works really well and it comes from a good place. And then it blows up your adult life. So I always like to say it's like the child is driving the bus of your life.
Yeah.
So she or he is hyper reactive and not working in your highest good in your favor. So it's like recognizing that pain is the most powerful teacher and it will teach us what we actually need to know to thrive as adults. But we literally get wired, like, and I don't say a hardwired, soft wired, but it's like we don't even know that we're in it because our subconscious mind, which is that part of you that gets in the car and drives somewhere you go all the time and doesn't know how the hell you got there,
Yeah.
she's running the show. And so when your partner says something and it triggers you, it's not necessarily just about your partner. It's also that pre-wounding that we didn't really look at of like, maybe you had a hypercritical mother or an absent father, and now you've got both of those things in your partner and it triggers the hell out of you. Nothing's
Yeah.
wrong with you, but that trigger is your teacher and it's trying to show you what is unhealed within you. And that is where all your power lies.
Yeah. I love that. And that's the thing about our brains is that they do a really good job. Like it's doing
Yes.
its job. It's doing a really great job. And what I've learned is part of that, like releasing my trauma age, to say like, girl, you did your job, you protected us, you're a badass, like go take a nap, right? Like we're good. I got this now. Is the fact that we can rewire our brains
Mm-hmm.
completely, and I feel like you guys, this comes out. It's not like one big fireworks show where you just it all makes sense and you know all these areas and you figure it out. I'm almost 50. I knew at 17 sitting in a college class that I was hyper independent. I emancipated at 15. I was on my own as a ward of the state. So you can't tell me shit, right? I'm 46. I still have the awareness of knowing, like, man, you really don't trust people. I don't trust people. I'm hyper. I am still that person. And it is still, there's a part of me that's like, I'm fine with it. Like, I'm fine with
Yeah.
it, and I know it's not sustainable, right? We're here for
Yes.
a human experience. There is going to be a roadblock for me where I have to really give into that. But it's the one big thing I'm kicking and screaming on, where I'm like, right now, I don't have to trust anybody. I don't have to
Yeah.
trust anyone. I'm super safe. This is cool. Um, and because of that attitude, girl, I see it all the time where I'm like, people prove to me that I can't trust them because I'm so
Yes.
wired. So I'm like, see, I knew I shouldn't have trusted people. I just got, I just went through it like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and I'm like, oof, that's it. I'm done. I tried. I don't trust people. My brain is going to find the proof that I don't trust people and
Well,
why I shouldn't.
and on the flip side of that, so A, we all have to learn to trust ourselves first.
Yeah.
Then, like, trust is a sequential process. And we did not grow up, and I get this, when you grow up with people you cannot trust, literally, like I grew up with addicts, they are the least trustworthy people on
Of
the planet.
course.
So it's like
Yeah.
they will steal your money, your social security number,
Yeah.
and everything else. So I totally get that. I have the same thing. But there's two parts to that. One
Yeah.
is I have this belief, and then I actually subconsciously attract people who will prove me right. It's like
Yes.
I can explain it from a neuroscience perspective, a spiritual perspective. It all says the same shit, which
Yep.
is what I believe I will receive on some level. And it's not because I'm broken or I'm calling it to me. It's because my brain, the universe, God, whatever the hell you want to call it, is trying to
Yep.
say, hey, this is still a place for you
Yep.
to work on. And
Mm-hmm.
I get it. And it's like one thing that I really believe in is A, we were traumatized in relationship,
Mm-hmm.
so we can only be healed in relationship.
Yeah.
And so it's like finding that one person that we like build trust and they actually earn the right to have us
Mm-hmm.
trust them over time. And I think that's the hard
Yeah.
thing is like sometimes we want to, because I've jumped into trusting people to like try to focus on working through that.
Oh, of
And I always
course.
get burned.
Yes. That
So it's like,
yeah.
there's a great, Ayan Levensant wrote a pretty decent book called Trust, and that one's decent to just give you a framework. Because that's what I realized is a lot of us don't realize we don't even have a framework for trust because we've never experienced it. I was very similar to you, me, myself, and I on my own at
Oh
17,
yeah.
taking care of my younger brother,
Mm-hmm.
financially responsible. I paid for every single degree I have. I've never been
Yep.
able to rely on anyone in my life. So it was
Preach.
really hard for me to do that.
Yeah. No, I mean absolutely so. And I think it isn't I don't even know what it is for me about trusting people. I think the problem and wow, did I just turn this into a therapy session for
Yeah,
Brandon?
but this is
Did
what
I
works.
forget the audience? Hello. And I literally just told Tori, trust me, I'll get you to say what they need to hear. Don't you worry
But
about
that's
that.
what it is. Then
Yeah.
this is it.
It's really is that now I just lost my train of thought. Awesome.
It's
What
the
was that?
trust.
The trust. It's
Trust for
about
you.
trusting
There's a
people.
part of you that's kicking and screaming. And
Oh,
like
for
I would,
sure. Yeah.
yeah. And so
And
it's like, and for me, that's always safety because we are
yeah.
hardwired to stay safe. And our body, just to tell you, like from a science perspective, the cortisol,
Yeah.
your body will make cortisol over any other hormone,
Yep.
neurotransmitter, whatever to survive. So we are wired that way. And
Yep.
so it's like, having to rebuild trust and that belief system of what does trust look like, what kind of trust can I practice,
Yeah.
and that parenting, inner parenting.
I think I know what I was trying to say now
Okay,
when
good.
it comes to that. It is that my issue is really my problem is I expect me from everybody. And
Yes.
I see that. It's part of the thing of like I don't have to give in on this right now. So if you're
No.
not at my level, like I don't have time for this because I expect me from me, which is like full integrity, honesty. Do what you're going to say. You want to commit to something, we're going to commit to something. We're going to show up, and that's how we're going to rock it, right? And that's it. It's served me, but do I know the truth of God is calling me to more? Absolutely. It's part of the growth of like even just doing an interview show. I came kicking and screaming into this, and I'm 2.5 months in, 120 episodes deep, and I'm like, wow, I get why he was calling me into this. I can see that. And even just like I've found awesome friendships just here.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
that's a window because I don't have friends. It's me and my husband. We raise babies by ourselves. We don't have the village, right? Where it's just the eight of us in this cozy little bubble. And I'm starting to expand. And I'm like, wow, like this is what it would be like to have friends, right? Like real friends. It's kind of interesting. So little things at a time. But I do think,
Yeah.
we
And that's
we
like your ego and your
yeah.
soul are fighting a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
conflating in
Oh yeah.
standards with trust.
Yeah. For
And so it's
sure.
kind of like getting clear on I have to have certain standards and requirements from people in order to trust them.
Yeah. And
And
even
when you
then,
grow up
boundaries.
without boundaries or addict parents, you didn't really learn what
Yes.
that looks like.
No.
Nobody, I think no one learned healthy boundaries growing up. I've never met anyone who was
Yeah.
taught them.
I mean,
Like it's just haven't happened.
with my older kids, I didn't raise them like that. I was a mess, like a complete mess. And now it's different. Like with the younger, now that I have the awareness that I grew up, I just think a lot more is available to us now than it was when we were kids. So
Hugely.
I packed
Because
my
I'm even older
trauma.
than you.
Yeah, can't be by much, but yeah. Although
Yes.
I would say you probably had credit cards before me. I'm sure you had them at like 7, 8, 9. Like
Probably.
I love that. So that's awesome. But what are the biggest coping mechanisms that you've seen from childhood that tend to follow people into adulthood the most? We unpacked mine, but like what's the biggest patterns you see in people you work with?
People pleasing, perfectionism, hyper independence, over functioning, so overdoing, over giving, over being, wanting to become indispensable in some area of their life. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be amazing at work and have everyone need me, and I want to be amazing at home and have everyone need me. Also, the body. I see a lot of gut issues, so I always love to say, like, I see the psychological things, but I also see the physiological. So more anxiety, more low mood, a lot of bloated tummies and wacky hormones. Like these are all things that unprocessed trauma will cause. And we know the long-term health effects of trauma from what we call the ACEs study, adverse childhood experiences. And you can take that, and I'm like a 9 out of 10. So
Yeah.
the more we know about, again, just it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility now that you're an adult to start looking at where am I struggling? How do I show up in a way that is not helping me anymore? And just start in one area of your life. You can do one thing for your mind and one thing for your body, one day at a time. If you get 1% better each week, at the end of the year, you're gonna be 50% better than you started.
I love that. We kind of talked about this before I started to record, about high achievement and how I kind of could cut through the BS and be like, no, so tell me what really happened to you. Like,
Totally.
so how much of high achievement is actually a trauma response?
High achievement, I would say, in my experience,
Yeah.
I don't have the data on this because no one really studies it, the
Yeah.
correlation between high achievement and trauma, but I would say it's 80% plus.
I
Most
agree.
people who are in high achievement are operating from a wound of not enough.
Hmm.
And I did the same thing. I was like, I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be super smart. I'm going to get out of this bad area. I'm going to do
Oh,
all these
yeah.
things. And I checked all the boxes. I had the house, the car, the husband, the job, six-figure salary. And I was like, why the fuck am I not happy yet? And
Yes.
I could not understand it. And it was really because I wasn't living my purpose. I was checking boxes and
Yep.
trying to be perfect. I had the 6'4" husband. I had everything I was supposed to have,
Yep.
and it wasn't working. And so I had to blow up my whole life and rebuild it.
Yep.
And that was freaking hard. Divorce, selling my house. Like
Yep.
what it took me 18 years to build, I lost in 3 weeks.
Yeah. I I'll just say this is how I knew you're my people because that's what I've done too. Like everything, I blow it up. I just light a match, blow it up, and I walk away. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be that way. I think that was my modality. I think because that's it. It's what I needed. is to burn everything down, but it's not necessary for everyone. I think if you really just do that honest inventory within yourself to be present in how you're really feeling about your life, it's like one thing at a time,
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
you
Do
said.
not, people can absolutely put themselves in what I
Mm-hmm.
call a healing crisis,
Yeah.
where they try to like dig up all the buried bodies inside. They're doing therapy, they're doing energy work, they're doing, all these, like, don't go too crazy.
No.
You just want to make sure you're shifting. And I'm very similar. Like I typically need to jump off a cliff or blow up my life because I'm here to transform. I know that's my
Yeah.
soul's purpose.
Yeah.
And then I teach other people to do that from my own experience.
Yeah.
But not everyone's built that way. And
Yeah.
sometimes, like I invited my ex-husband to evolve with me. He chose not to.
Yes.
So I had to exit that.
That
But
X.
yeah. So some people, though, they can evolve with you. Sometimes when you change, I see this in my clients all the time. Sometimes we actually get afraid to change because
Mm-hmm.
we're so afraid of what it will do to our lives. But
Mm-hmm.
I have seen so many people heal relationships with toxic people around them because they showed up differently and that other person had no opportunity but to show up with them. So I'm talking crazy narcissistic mothers, difficult marriages. And because they did the work and they became different, they no longer tolerated it. That other person, in order to stay in their life, had to step up well.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, I have a testimony for that because that is my marriage. Not necessarily, we were toxic, not with each other, just like I was going
In
through
your
a
own lives.
divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in our space, we were drinking like crazy. I mean, alcoholics constantly. I was going through a custody battle. Like it was a
Mm.
very ugly time, and my two oldest bear the weight of that. And they look at things now, and it's okay. They're like, I don't understand how you chose all that. I don't understand. I'm like, I was just surviving, girl.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
which that they're probably not ready to still understand that, and it's okay.
How old
Um,
are they? 14, 16?
oh gosh, my oldest, no, 20, 23, and 22. They'll be
Okay. So they're
23
getting
and
they're getting
24.
close to be able to work that out.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting better. It was for a minute, like, my daughter and I didn't talk for a hot minute, and there's still like you could feel a little bit of underlying tension, and I'm giving them the space to like let them
That's
process
amazing.
that. But they still come back and they look at us and they're like, you guys aren't the same people, and that's good. They know they're
And that will be
screwing up.
huge. Yeah.
But it's me jumping off the cliff. And I never asked my husband. I didn't even ask him. I wasn't like, you want to come with me, babe? It was just like I changed, and I had that faith to know that if he's meant to come along with me, he's going to come with me. And every time I turn around, I'm like, oh shit, he's right there, look at us. Right. And it was
Yeah.
never like you have to change. It was never whatever. It's just people calibrate to you. And it's going to be the same thing. Like, I my mom signed her rights off when she was 12. um and we didn't talk for decades, and I'm actually talking to her now. And I even had like my first emotional conversation with her a couple weeks ago, where I called her just crying. My son's about to leave for the Marines, and I
Oh
don't
wow.
call her for parent stuff, right? Because how the
Yeah,
hell does
yeah.
she know? She doesn't know what it's like to have a 22-year-old at home. You know what I mean? Like, she has no idea what I'm going through as a parent because she
No.
bounced. So I actually called her in that moment, and it was huge. And I'm sure, like, as it's not cool. We're gonna get a call of our kid crying, but I think it was healing for both of us. Of like, I felt like it was safe to go ahead, and I trauma dumped. I just sat in the car crying. I'm like, I can't go in my house, and she just held the space for me. You know, um.
Which
So
gave
I
her an opportunity to be a mom for the first
yes,
time.
yes, and
And for you to be a kid.
correct. And that's what I'm saying about, like, I want you guys to, you don't have to turn around to your husband and give him an ultimatum at this moment. I'm not a fan of like, let's not break up marriages. For some people, yes, it's fine. I did it with my ex-husband. Okay. I
Yeah,
turned
yeah.
that down. But I think really just if you guys focus on you and finding your own emotional safety in that moment, that people calibrate to you
Yes. And
on a high level.
that's exactly what I was trying to share as
Yeah.
well. Is like I don't want people to be afraid because they do. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, some things will end, but if you communicate and you say like, hey, I'm doing this for me, and you start showing up better, and if you have to and there is some toxicity in the relationship, like, hey, let's go to counseling, or would you
Right.
be willing to get some support? Like especially if there is addiction and things like that, like there is no option. You cannot change that for them. They
Yeah.
have to change it for them.
What does emotional safety actually feel like for someone that never had it growing up? Like, what are we looking for?
So in ourselves, that means we can hold and feel our own emotions. and give ourselves the care that we need. So, like you said, a huge, like as simple as like I'm really tired or I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna go take a nap and I'm gonna eat. Because I know women who will work through all of those feelings and just keep pushing until they are so depleted and exhausted.
Right.
And then in someone else being able to share a level of vulnerability with them and be held and be empathized with, not fixed or pushed away, but actually say, like, I'm so sorry to hear that you were in the car crying the other day about
Yeah.
your son. Like, is that something that you need to talk about? I
Yeah.
love to teach people in a relationship. Anytime someone comes to you, they only need three things from you. They need you to hear them, hold them, or help them.
Yep.
So you have to figure out which one of that is. And sometimes you need to ask because you don't know.
Oh, that's been a great thing for my marriage is like when one of us is saying something, it's that simple question of like, do you just need to be, do you want me just to listen or do I need to, cuz I'm a solution person.
Yes, I'm
I'm
a
like, "Oh,
fixer
you
too.
don't like that? Boom, we're going to do this right now." And he's like, "What the hell? Can I just talk?" And so I'm like, "Babe, is this like a trauma dump or do you want me to come up with a solution?" And it'll be simple. He'll be like, "No, I just need to get this out." And then I'll give him his window to get it out. I shake it off and we move on. And
Hmm.
that communication changed everything
So
because
that is being emotionally held.
yes. So I love that. You yourself, you've experienced grief and loss. How does
Hmm.
grief reshape someone psychologically?
Oh, grief, if we do not process it, can really change us. We know it changes us physiologically. There's actually like a physical, your heart can change its shape and you can actually die from grief. It's called compartment syndrome, but it's broken heart syndrome. So I've experienced a lot of loss. My sister and mom both died of drugs and alcohol, like drug use. My dad, my older brother. I'm the oldest living member in my family.
Wow.
So I've like starting at like, 30-ish. Like I started just like they all just started dropping like crazy. So I spent my mom and my sister, my grandma all died within like a year and a half of each other. So I lost my entire matriarch, like, and my maternal grandmother actually passed before I even she overdosed when my mom was 15. So I'm the first woman in my family to never be an addict for 4 generations.
Wow. That's a hell of a cycle to break. I just feel
Yeah.
like I wish I had one of those audience clapping buttons right now, but I'm not that smart with technology. But I am like, fuck yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, so that was a tough choice I made. Like when I was 18, I decided I was never going to drink or do alcohol again, or like drink, like do drugs or anything. I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, this is for me. This is Russian roulette. I knew that.
I love
But
that.
yeah, grief, it will break your soul open,
Yeah.
and its ultimate purpose is to be felt. There's no way through it, and a lot of people avoid it. And when we avoid it, then we get the mental and the physical emotion. We can get anxiety, we can get depression, we can get um, physical issues from
Yeah.
it. So it's like really allowing ourselves to fully feel it and heal it. And when we do that, then we open the gifts of grief. And the gift of grief, I can tell you with each person that died, like my sister, when she passed suddenly, I got just the call that she had overdosed and she was gone and she didn't even make it. She's in her 30s. And it was like,
Oh.
okay, my sister didn't live. So that is actually what sprung me to leave my corporate job because I was like, okay, I'm miserable. I'm afraid to leave. I'm afraid to leave this six-figure thing that I've built,
Mm-hmm.
and I did it because I was like, she didn't get to live, so I'm going to live.
Yes.
And in my mom passing, so we had not spoken for a long time as well. But before she died, luckily, we had about 2 years where I was able to like rebuild and heal that relationship the best I could to the ability that she had. So there was a lot of gifts through grief, but we only get them if we truly feel it. And I get it. It will crack you open. Like it feels like you cannot breathe, you cannot move, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But when you walk through that valley,
Yeah.
you will come out a stronger person because grief never goes away. You just get way stronger to carry it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like you're becoming a whole new person. I have someone that I love and adore. Her son committed suicide. He was only
Mm.
18. And, walking her through that process, like, we're far away. I think we met once or twice in person and God brought her to me. I answer the phone one night and it's just the screaming. And I'm
Mm.
like, I've got you. And part of our conversations, she's like, I hate this. And I'm like, the hardest decision you're ever going to make is to stay here and be something different for your kids. But I'm like, this is going to launch you one day. Like you're going to see how this works for you in that you get to live for him and you get to live, you know, help your kids live a life that he didn't to keep going because he has siblings and stuff. But it
Yeah,
was, I mean, it's horrendous.
it is. Like,
Grief is
and
horrendous.
it's so hard because you have no control and it just
Yep.
happens to you.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely a much more deep spiritual and compassionate person because of that. Because
Yeah.
when, like, I had a client that no one could help, she actually contacted a family member of her contacted me. She lives in Egypt, and she'd been through many, many therapists,
Yeah.
and she had so much loss, like more than me. Like I know she wouldn't mind it sharing the story, but like
Yeah.
her dad was in the hospital dying of cancer. Her mom had a sudden heart attack in her arms.
Ugh.
Her dad died a week later. Then, like, her grandma died. It was just like her entire family within almost 2 years passed. It
Wow.
was just her and her siblings left. And she's only like 31.
Yeah.
And so no one understood that level of pain to actually help her out of it.
Hmm.
And so it's like my greatest wound of like living through a similar thing. I was the only person who could help her.
Yeah.
So sometimes your pain will become another person's path.
That's what I tell my friend all the time, and she's still not speaking out. And I'm like, please, like I pray for her all the time. I'm just like, she could
Yeah,
have
it
so
takes
many
time.
years. Yeah,
But
I
yeah, I
wish.
have an amazing client who's Harvard trained now, but her sister passed when she was younger
Yeah,
of cancer. She's now like an oncology person. You know, she saved
yeah.
thousands of people from cancer because of that intense loss. Her sister was her best friend in the whole
How
world.
incredible is that? And
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't make death mean something, what are we doing here? You
And
know?
death is part of life. It's
Yeah.
just part of the cycle. When the soul gets what it came for, it goes home.
I also think grief is not always death either, because like I've
Yeah.
I've experienced it on a level, and I had people try to take that from me of like she's just at college. When my eldest went to college for the first time, she's 2 hours away. I called her. We were on the phone every single day. She was home, or I went to see her every single weekend. And people would be like, "It's not like she's dead." Yeah, no, but this is different. There's a piece of our life that is dying.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
dying. Like she's with me
They're
every day since she was a baby. And
And
now
that's
it's
a normal grief. Like
yeah.
like a lot of people get confused about grief. Like
Yeah.
grief is a heavy loss, no
Yeah.
matter what. It's a breakup. It's a loss of a
Oh
pet.
yeah.
It's your children leaving home after being with you every minute for every day, being able to keep them
Yeah.
safe. So many things. So
Yeah.
yeah, David Kessler wrote a beautiful book on grief and all the forms of it, and I got to train with him. So Elizabeth Kubler-Ross is the one who actually made the five stages of grief. He is her protege when she
Wow.
passed. And so I've been able to work with him, like, learn from
Yeah.
him.
That's
And,
amazing.
even like my cat, who was like my like ride or die pet, she had
Yeah.
been with me through all this loss. She was 18 years old. It's like I just
Yeah.
lost her. And it was like, it
Oh.
was visceral. Like it was
Yep.
like so crazy to feel like the depth of that loss. Because we just, when you are connected and you are feeling your
Yeah.
feelings, grief is a sign that you're fucking alive.
Exactly. I love that. I have a soul pet too that I dread. She's only 2, you guys. She's only 2.
Yeah.
So I have
No,
like
but when you have that connection, you have that
uh
connection.
I feel like the compartment syndrome you're talking about people dying. I think everybody knows that that's a possibility for me if I ever lost her. I feel like I would crumble because she is like just it's insane. I 10 out of 10 recommend a soul pet. I don't know how she picked me, but like we're here. I don't know how you actually get one because
You
I've
just
had
know it was the same thing. I walked in, and I'd
yeah,
have lots of my ex-husband. I had like five, but this particular cat, I don't know what it was
yeah,
about her, but I was in freaking like PetSmart, and I just saw her, and
yeah,
it was like there was no question. I just took her home. There was no
yeah,
like, and she was with me. She, moved with me to Beverly Hills when I got my divorce, and just all
yeah.
this stuff. So it was like she was my little soul.
To everything.
Yeah.
I did see off topic, you guys. I did see when I was uh scrolling for topics for another show. They have a vaccine or something for cats to help them live till they're 30.
Yes, their kidneys. That's what shuts down on them is their kidneys.
Yeah, so I'm signing up for that. I'm an anti-vaxxer for the rest of the family, but like if I can make my cat live longer, I will poke her. I will definitely do it. But anyway, you guys, let's get back to this. How does the nervous system, because this is something I really had to heal in my own life because it was affecting everybody around me. With my kids moving out and me processing all of that, I was cortisol poisoning myself to death.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Speak to the audience about how nervous system dysregulation affects relationships.
Oh gosh, it's probably like the cornerstone of everything in your life, and you don't even know it's affecting you. So nervous system dysregulation is meaning you're just off all the time. That means your body is in fight, flight, fawn, or freeze at all times, and your body is just pumping out cortisol, which cortisol can be good,
Yeah.
but too much, it messes up your hormones, it creates belly fat. It is actually, other people can feel it. They found in sweat samples that cortisol is very high, and other people, it's like toxic to them too. They actually pick up on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
I didn't
So
know
people
that.
can, yeah, we can actually catch someone else's stress.
Wow.
So it makes you feel more short-tempered, more reactive, more hungry, more sugar desire, eating worse food. Like we just sleep worse, we eat worse. There's nothing about it that helps us. And there's only a few things that like it helps us survive. So your body will prioritize it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't ever help us thrive or feel calm or respond or react.
Right.
That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways to lower our cortisol to manage our stress response. Breath work, taking a walk, a 15-minute walk can lower your cortisol and your blood sugar a lot. And those are the two master things to always watch for your nervous system is your cortisol and your blood sugar, not just one of the, it's both, always. Um, Magnesium glycinate before bed, about 300 milligrams, helps calm the nervous system. Also, a great supplement called glycine, Glycine. You can do your own research. It's amazing. It's an amino acid, but it helps your skin make collagen. It helps your nervous system calm down. Um, it is a really powerful thing to sometimes we don't always have the ability to do all the physical things we should be doing. Like we know
Yeah.
we should be talking about our emotions. We should be
Mm-hmm.
reducing stress anywhere we can.
Mm-hmm.
We should be doing some, just even 4-4-8 deep breath like 3 times will help lower your cortisol. EFT tapping is something you can learn online that also has been shown to reduce cortisol by about 40%, help you process your emotions. Like I said, completing the stress cycle of all the research, a quick
Mm-hmm.
walk is one of the most fast and effective ways, but we can't always do that. We can't
Yeah.
always leave. We can't always walk away from our partner. Like, I gotta go take a
Yeah.
walk,
Right.
So do your breath work. And then I always look at like, what can I do to support the body while I'm learning those tools? Like, if I was like a gym, if I was like, okay, babe, you got to build muscle, like you're in your 40s, like you got to be fit. I'd be like,
Yeah.
you need your protein shakes. So I
Mm-hmm.
see it the same thing as for the muscles as the nervous system.
Yep.
There's a lot of amino acids that are very powerful and supplements that are very inexpensive, don't have side effects, and really help calm that nervous system down. And so those are two that really don't have any. There's lots more that help the brain, but those are two that magnesium glycinate and glycine are two that you can really take at night. If you tend to run really anxious, L-theanine is also great.
Yeah.
So these are things that like I want you to think always, what can I do? Mind, body, soul.
Yep.
How can I calm myself and just tell myself in this moment I'm safe,
Mm-hmm.
take a couple breaths, get my daily walks. Daily movement is all that matters. Like if you can move every hour, you're going to do more for your body and your mind than anything.
Yep.
Journal, get shit out of yourself. Like it's like poison, better out than in. Like, sometimes there's an old adage. I studied at the Vedas for many years and had gurus, and I'm a like certified yoga teacher.
Yeah.
And one of my teachers, there's a great story in India that I've seen reposted now, but I was told it in person, and it was like basically like if a cobra bites you, you don't search the village to look for the cobra and say, "Why did you bite me?"
Yeah.
And you don't ruminate over it. You literally tend to yourself first. You get the poison
Immediately.
out. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I want you to think when you get triggered or reacted. It's like, how do I take care of myself? How do I ground myself? How do I get into a completely different place
Yeah.
physically? And before I respond to this, all of your power lies in the pause between what happens to you and how you respond.
Yeah.
And for me, meditation was, and I know that's very hard, particularly for traumatized people.
Yeah.
So yoga is a great place to start. A good yoga class, not one where they're pumping like, techno music and you have weights,
Right.
but it's like calm and it's breath focused. Even at home, there's a great woman online called Yoga with Adriene. She's decent because I hate a lot of yoga teachers because they actually don't
Yes.
know what they're doing. Because I was trained by people who had a 5,000-year lineage from
Wow.
India. So I learned what real yoga is, and I don't think I would have healed without that nervous system
Yeah.
calming. And In the Body Keeps the Score, that book by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, he has an entire chapter on yoga.
Yeah.
So that's how important, like we found it in the research. But again, 15 minutes of anything is better than nothing.
Yeah.
So that, and for me, like meditation was gaining such massive self-awareness. I remember I'd been meditating for a couple of years and my ex-husband at the time had said something rude to me. And normally that would have started a fight because I would have been like,
Yeah.
oh, hell, you did not just say that to
Hmm.
me. And I completely paused and I thought, why would he say that? That's so mean. And then later, like the next day I thought about it. I was like, okay, like what triggered what did that bring up in me? And I like really thought it through. And then the next day I said to him, like, hey, yesterday in the car when you made that comment, it really hurt my feelings and blah blah blah. And he was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like I'd had such a bad
Hmm.
day and the car had broken down earlier, and I knew he'd had a crazy day. But that was the first time I remember I did not react at all. And since then, I've been pretty good, I would say, in the last decade, due to all these things, meditation, yoga, breath work, EFT tapping. I don't really react. And I've had some really awful shit happen.
Yeah.
Even in my divorce, we did our entire divorce after an 18-year marriage with one mediation session. And I said, we can do this on our own. And every time he went low, I took a pause, I walked away, and I said, come back when you're calm.
Yeah. I love that. Imagine if the whole world could just get on that level. But
Yeah,
I
it's
do.
not easy.
Yeah. No.
And mind everybody, I've been doing this for 26 years.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm going to be 48 in a couple weeks. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
you're barely older than me.
Yeah.
Barely. But no, I think, yeah, I think you have to find something that grounds you because I honestly, for me, it's the Bible. It is
Hmm.
in the
Yeah,
morning
that's
before I
the
touch my
soul.
phone. That's the first thing and it's become my guidebook. I used to, my whole hyper independence, right? There's no guidebook to life. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And like now, 3 years in, I'm like, wow, there's actually a guidebook. There's a whole guidebook for me. So it is everything in practicing that pause. It's everything in asking, you know, because I am in the arena. I'm a stay at home mom with, I still have 4 kids here and I'm homeschooling and doing all the things. So shit's happening all the time. It's not like everybody went and left me alone so I could heal my nervous system. Like I had
Yeah,
to,
no, that's that's
had
not
to do,
life.
had to do it in the arena. So it's just, I think if you guys just ask yourself the question like really fast, right? I start getting super pissed. I'm like, dude, why the fuck are you so mad right now? And when I ask myself the question, I'm like, oh, that's right. Like this bra's really tight on me. I haven't eaten. The kids have been saying mom for 35 minutes. So it is that like, hey, you guys, I need to, I'm going to eat really fast and then we can have a conversation, or they need help with their worksheets. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in the middle of this. As soon as it's done, I'm going to put my phone down and we're going to fix this, or whatever that is. It's just asking myself, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I love that's been great for my marriage too, of just like, he says something and I'm like, what's the truth, Brandon? We're not enemies. Like we're on the same page. So he's not deliberately trying to hurt you. Just take a beat. And so then I'll wait. And the next day I'm like, dude, that seriously sucked. And he's like, holy shit, that's not how I meant it. And it's the great thing, but it is about asking those questions. Because I talk so much, I took all of our time and I wanted to say, I
It's
just want to
okay.
say, what would you say to someone listening who secretly feels exhausted from carrying their entire life emotionally alone?
Oh God. Well, first and foremost, I've been there. But you do have to develop, I believe, like you talked about, spirituality. I believe connecting to something larger than yourself, whatever you think that is, will always help you because I think that part of what's wrong with the world right now is we all have a hole in our hearts and we're not connected to anything or anyone
Yeah.
anymore. And we used to call that word God, and you can call it the universe, nature, I don't care what it is, but you got to connect to something. Carl Jung and Freud actually broke up over this because Carl Jung said that the human was not complete without the spiritual soul side.
Mm-hmm.
And Freud said, no, we're just a brain and a body and we die and we're gone.
Yeah.
And so I've always gone more down Carl Jung's psychology side.
Mm-hmm.
So reach out to one person. A lot of people I know in today, we have loneliness as an epidemic.
Mm.
It doesn't matter if it's deep. Join a hiking club, join a book club, do something to get around other people, go to a coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
Isolation is one of the biggest things going to drive that feeling. And then remember that you've got you and how do you need to take care of yourself? Just like you talked about, am I hungry? Am I thirsty? And am I tired? What
Mm-hmm.
do I need? We can never give what we don't have.
Right.
So we have to start with us and then do reach out. Find if there's any one person in your life, don't be afraid to lean on them. And like I said, find that spiritual thing to lean on. I was never a spiritual person growing up. I wasn't raised around religion or anything.
Right.
And life beat me down enough to where, I found the way.
You found the way. I love that. How could people get resourced with you? Where can they find you?
Online at www.torijenae.com. So Torijenae. And then also you can link with me on Instagram at tori.janae.
I love that. Tori, this is the part of the show where I get to tell you what I think makes you special. And it's
Oh,
not just
thank
that you understand healing, it's that you understand survival, that you broke an incredible generational cycle curse. You flipped that switch. You have lived through the chaos, the loss, the grief, the trauma, the rebuilding, the identity collapse. And instead of becoming a victim of it or hardened by it, you became intentional. You learned how to turn pain into awareness and awareness into healing. And healing now is a service. And now that you're helping people recognize that the patterns controlling their lives aren't random, they came from somewhere. The work you're doing is very much needed. It is part of what I believe is a passion project. If we could all just help one person, how
Yes.
much of a difference can we make? I think the work you're doing is powerful. I think you're just an incredible human for sure.
Oh, thank you.
To everyone listening, you guys pay attention to your patterns, especially the ones that are feeling automatic, because sometimes, what you think is your personality is actually just your nervous system, your brain just trying to protect you. Healing is uncomfortable, but
Hmm.
so is not healing.
It's way more
Eventually,
uncomfortable.
yeah,
Yeah. And I have a
eventually,
freebie on my website too that kind of tells you the 7 core psychological wounds and how they show up in your life. So
perfect.
it's like the trust wound, there's all these different ones that we have, the abandonment wound, and it's free. You can download it, and it's like a 20-page guide of like where to start.
Nice. That's perfect. Make sure you guys go on there and get resourced. Please remember that your mess is your message, even the trauma, even the grief, even the parts of you that were built in survival. If this episode spoke to you, do me a favor and share this out, because you know someone that Tori can't reach without your help. And maybe that someone is the one person, and it's a very selfless act to share it out. Make sure you get resource. Check out our website. Go for the freebie, because who doesn't love a freebie? And you guys know, if you're ready for the hot seat, I dare you to come tell me why you're special. Tori Janae, thank you so much for your time, for your wisdom, for speaking to my audience today. This was amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. Definitely an aligned soul to me.
Yeah.